I was going to talk about these things behind me. Um, they're my magic ghost number cubes. The um, colored stick and ball figures are the stripped down ghost numbers, ghost number cubes. They only have the outer numbers and the central ghost number. The inner layer ghost number cube is taken away. The ones, the wood white structures are the full ghost numbers. Inside is a metal, well, that one's falling apart, but metal frame for the inner ghost number cube, and they have numbers of their own. And so you can spin them around. Hopefully, this doesn't fall down. And they're pretty neat when the wind blows, and it makes all of them blow around like windmills or something. And so I was going to try to explain my ghost numbers, magic ghost number squares and cubes. This is a magic ghost number square in an addition form, and you have, I just put a few numbers, 4 numbers on all sides. It's only the amount of numbers you can put around the square. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you add, since this is an addition cube, you add up to the corners, that's 5. Add up to this corner, that's 3. Add up to this corner, that's 5. Add up to this corner, that's 7. And they go across, which adds up to 10, which is their outer ghost number. Wasn't really sure if I should call them ghost numbers or if I should call them the limbo numbers, because they're not quite ghost numbers. They're not on the floating corners of a 3-plane cube. They're on the square frame of a square, on the corners of a square frame, which are the false corners of a cube. So I was going to write them in blue, but then I decided to write them in red, and I figured I'd throw in that purple, which is probably an equivalent to the extended ghost numbers to the extended limbo numbers, I guess you can call them, between the inner ghost numbers and the outer real ghost numbers. And so the 10, the inner ghost number, is given by the primary numbers in addition form. This is 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 3 is 10, and that's also given going across. 3 plus 7 is 10 on both sides. 2 plus 5 is 5 plus 5 is 10 on both sides. I'm reading this backwards. So this is an addition form. This is its cube form. Okay, it's a little bit more complicated to read. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, the same cube square form, and extended outwards. Same way, you get 10 on all sides. But these are no longer the outer limbo numbers. These purple ones are given by the cubic structure of the inner layer ghost number, the 6 cubic numbers of the inner layer ghost number, inner layer ghost numbers. This is 15 because this is an addition form. They're all 15. Down here's 15. Down here's 15 because the cubic structure numbers 6 numbers of the inner cubic structure. So that's 15. And these 6 layers over here, 6 numbers of this inner layer cubic structure is, I think if I'm reading that right, that's 9. And then down here at the diagonal of that is 21. And back here is a 21. And up here in front is 9. So this is an addition form. So they all equal 30 at the outer ghost numbers. And 30. Did I write 30 down there? No, I didn't. So 30 30 over here and 30 over here. And 10 in the addition form, you add 10 up, the inner Gauss number, still given by adding the primary numbers. Oh, by the way, I set this to 0, set one axis to 0, so you can see how a flat square would become a cube, the relationship between the cube and the square, because 0 is the identity in addition for these structure of numbers, for this array of numbers. The primary numbers is what I call the blue numbers, the inner blue numbers. So anyway, that all adds up to 10, and which 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30, is a triple of the inner Gauss number. Okay, I think that said all that I could with the cubic structure, and you can probably freeze this to see if you want to study it further. So this is a multiplication Gauss number. It's using the same primary numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, except you multiply them together. 4 plus 3 is 12, plus 2 times 2. 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24, times 1 is 24, so you get inner Gauss number 24. You multiply on both sides. 3 times 1 is 3 on both sides, 2 times 4 is 8 on both sides. This is the outer limbo number of the square, and 6 times 4 is 24 on both sides, commutative property. 2 times 12 is 24 on both sides, commutative property. This is the multiplication of the same numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I had to set this last axis to 1 on both sides, because that's the identity in multiplication for these primary numbers. And so you do the same multiplication up to the corners, at all the corners of the cube, and you get these limbo numbers. I guess you can call them limbo numbers. 2, 16 on this side, and 8 down here somewhere. 64. 64 times 216 is 100, 1,000, 13,824 is the outer Gauss numbers from these limbo inner diagonal numbers. You multiply instead of adding, and 216 in the back and 64 in front is the outer Gauss numbers in red. I decided to make them red. Purple is purple for stands for royalty. I guess you can call them royal numbers, and so everybody today is calling everything fire. So I thought that I made the real numbers, the real Gauss numbers, stand out as red fire. So so you multiply these together inside, and since you only have ones for the axis on the outside, it's 24 again, and 24 multiplied times itself is 13,824. So this is the outer Gauss numbers multiplied 3 times by the inner Gauss number multiplied 3 times gives the outer Gauss numbers. So there's an addition, you add the inner Gauss numbers 3 times, and there's a multiplication, you add the inner Gauss numbers, multiply the inner Gauss numbers 3 times. And if I can go back to the addition thing again, if I have time and this thing stops on me. No, not addition, multiplication. Multiplication squared. They have this property that I still haven't found out yet, still haven't figured out yet. The lowest numbers on each side of a square are in the same proportions, both diagonally and vertically. 2 plus 2 is 2/3 of 6. 4 plus 4 is 8, which is 2/3 of 12. So those are 2/3 going horizontally. 2 plus 3, 6 plus 3 is 9, which is 3/4 of 12. 2 plus 3 is 3, which is 3/4 of 4. So 3/4 and 3/4, 2/3 and 2/3. Haven't been able to figure that out really. But so that's left up there to figure out. Maybe something simple, but I'm comfortable seeing the whole picture. Seeing the whole picture, the cubes and the outer Gauss numbers. So, well, that's what these things are all about, and they're in three-dimensional form. And they're in three-dimensional form, and you can spin them around, and when the wind blows through the windows, and they spin around with the mirror, they're just for the heck of it. These are the stripped down forms, and the ball and stick are the stripped down forms, and the things you see rotating are the wooden full forms of the magic Gauss number cubes. And I decided to use 1, 2, 3, 4 in multiplication and addition, and 2, 4, 6, 8, and 3, 6, 7, 9 for the numbers to experiment to make all these up here. So that's all they're based on. But they're so well, I guess that's about it. Thanks for watching.